I served President Kibaki as chairman of Vision 2030, but initially on the technical team that crafted Vision 2030. And we did that for 3 years. When he completed and took it to him, he said, "What do Kenyans say about it?" And we had no answer. And for the next 3 years, we were consulting Kenyans to have answers on what they said about it. And then we incorporated the sentiments of the Kenyans. And so on the 5th year, we presented it to him. And unfortunately, then he said, "James, do you mind sharing the Vision 2030 Delivery Board?" We had no excuse. We had believed in the story. We had crafted it. And from there on, every last Friday of the month, we assembled together at the Kenya School of Government and deliberated. And looking back, like everybody has said, we were given a free hand to allocate resources, to prioritize the project, and to really advise the government and hold accounting officers accountable for delivery. We used to make measurements on monthly basis and report to him on who had delivered. And it was not for us to make judgment, but for us was to deliver data to him on what was the expected and what. And then on every 5 years, do the 5-year mid-term plans on what we had delivered. And essentially looking back, President Kibaki inherited Kenya when the size of the economy was only 1.3 trillion.
Yes.
He left it when it was 3.5 trillion. Had grown.
Triple.
But looking back, to me, I remember him for creating a foundation upon which the economy has continued to grow. The economy grew 3 times during his term, almost 4 times. But today, the economy has grown 10 times, tenfold. It has moved from 4.5 trillion to nearly 11 trillion shillings. So the ability to build, as Mugo said, structures. This was a systems person. Yeah. That systems, that structure is what has continued to make the economy to be what it is. It proved to be very resilient during the COVID period. It has bounced back very, very heavily, and it was simply because the fundamentals are light. So to me, that is what. But the most striking thing is the ability to see the role of the private sector in sustaining an economy. All along we felt before that the economy could be built by government. Government creates an enabling environment, and economies are built by the private sector. And that is why the Kenyan economy has become sustainable, and we can see it scale itself simply because it was anchored on the private sector. And to make the private sector work, what he really focused on was microeconomic environment. How is inflation? How is the exchange rate? And how is interest rate? He only focused on 3 prices and then left the markets to operate. So essentially, we saw what happened to the stock exchange because of that. We saw what happened to the private sector. The rest is history. We have a much stronger economy, and all of us can say, yeah, built in just the last 20 years.